Hello, today we're talking about what causes piriformis pain. So if you're clicking on this video, you've probably already looked into piriformis syndrome, piriformis muscle, glute pain, that kind of stuff, and you know that the piriformis muscle is a small pear-shaped muscle that lives deep in the gluteal muscles in your kind of hip area, so right about here, and it is used in rotational movements of the hip and a little bit in backwards movements of the hip as well. So those are what it does. I have this to illustrate my piriformis. So the piriformis muscle will have pain for a couple different reasons. One, which is the most commonly thought of issue, so piriformis syndrome is what people usually think is what causes the pain. That is actually one of the more rare causes of piriformis pain, but I'll quickly get into that since that's what most people think is going on with them. So the piriformis muscle will wrap around the nerve that comes out underneath it and will just basically compress and squeeze that tissue, this being the nerve, this being the muscle, and the nerve will get irritated and voila, you have pain in that area. So the other causes of piriformis pain are you can, tear any muscle. It's pretty hard to tear this one, so it's possible you could tear a piriformis muscle, but you're probably going to need some trauma involved. It's probably not just going to happen out of the blue. There's going to need to be some kind of a mechanism there, and you would notice because you'd have swelling, bruising, that kind of stuff, and it would be very deep, and you'd probably be tearing the other layers of muscle as well. You're not just going to tear a piriformis. You're going to need to tear your glute med, glute max, that kind of stuff first, or at the same time. So you're probably not going to strain or tear a piriformis. It's pretty hard. You'd have to have some other muscles that you'd probably have to get to first. But you can also have some other pretty common causes of piriformis pain, which include low back disc injuries. So your low back has these little squishy discs that live in between the bones of your low back. And we're not going to get into disc injuries and full-blown explanations right now. That's another video for another time. You can find those on my page. But the low back discs can very commonly refer to the gluteal region and below into the hamstrings and almost basically as far down as the knee. And the glutes are a really, really common region for that to refer to. The other thing is that there are nerves in your spine that also live close to the disc. Sometimes the disc can irritate the nerves. Sometimes the nerves can have issues themselves. And those nerves will actually go down near the piriformis and also innervate the piriformis. So if there's an issue with the nerve higher up in the spinal area, it can hurt the muscles that it innervates lower down. So for instance, if you have a nerve that comes out of your spine and it gets compressed for some reason or quote unquote pinched or has tension, then that will hurt the downstream muscles that it innervates, such as your gluteal muscles and your piriformis. We did mention that there's also a nerve down there specifically that the piriformis is close to and can irritate as well. So those are the main causes of piriformis syndrome or piriformis pain. You have piriformis syndrome. You have possibly a strain or a tear of the piriformis, which is pretty rare, just like piriformis syndrome is. You have a low back disc injury, and then you have a spinal nerve injury as well. So those are the main causes, and if you have any questions about any of that, this is not meant to diagnose you, just meant to give you some ideas about, what could be going on down there. I would suggest talking to me or another healthcare practitioner who lives in your area about this. You can go ahead and leave some comments below or questions, or my info is in the description below. Thank you guys so much, and if you want more info on this, I have other piriformis videos, so go ahead and subscribe and like this video, comment below. Thank you so much. Have a good one.